You are living in a world built on stories. You trust these stories. They tell you what is real, what is right, what is true. But what if the very foundations of your understanding were carved from something else? What if a single object, ancient and massive, held truths that shatter every comforting tale you've been told? Not just about history, but about the nature of good, evil, and the price of knowledge itself. We are not just looking at a book tonight. We are facing a mirror that reflects the desperate choices humanity makes. A mirror that shows the agreements we forge with forces beyond our comprehension. This is about what happens when men seek power. This is about what happens when men seek salvation. This is about what happens when men look into the abyss, and the abyss looks back. This is the story of a book. It is a book so immense, so peculiar, so drenched in dark legend, that it defies easy explanation. Many call it the Devil's Bible. Its true name is the Codex Gigas. Its presence alone makes you question. You see its sheer physical size. You hear the tales of its birth in a single night. This is not some dusty relic from a forgotten past. This is a living testament, a testament to a world where lines between sacred and forbidden were blurred. It's a document that forces us to ask, what do you truly believe? And how far would you go for truth or for survival? The weight of unwritten truths. Picture this in your mind. Imagine a book that stands almost 3 feet tall. It is more than 1.5 feet wide. Its weight approaches 165 pounds. This is not a volume meant for quiet study. It is an artifact of raw, intimidating power. Think about holding such a thing. During the Middle Ages, most books were small. They were easy to carry. This one demands reverence. It demands a presence. It makes you feel small in comparison. It makes you understand the immense effort behind its creation. This colossal size is no accident. It speaks of enormous ambition. It shows a desire to create something beyond human scale. It was a project that could absorb a life, or many lives. The pages themselves are made from vellum. This is specially prepared animal skin. Experts say it took the skins of 160 donkeys. 160 donkeys. Think about that number. Think about the resources. Think about the sacrifice. Each page required soaking, then stretching, then scraping, then drying the hide. This was not a simple task. It was a demanding, meticulous process. Multiply that by hundreds of pages. You begin to grasp the sheer scale. You begin to feel the weight of this undertaking. It required a vast amount of material. It needed an incredible amount of labor. Who could command such resources? Who could possess such unrelenting purpose? This was not just writing. This was an act of creation, an act that spoke of desperation, or unyielding faith, or perhaps something darker, something outside the usual human experience. The consensus among scholars is that a single person wrote this entire manuscript, a single hand. Think about the consistency. Imagine the unwavering script. Every letter matches. Every stroke is uniform. This level of precision over decades seems impossible. We are talking about a time without printing presses. Scribes worked for years, sometimes for generations. They finished much smaller texts. Yet one individual, supposedly, created the Codex Gigas. This requires a dedication that defies easy explanation. It suggests an obsession, a total surrender to the task. What kind of person gives their entire life to a single book? What internal force would compel such a feat? This is where the legends begin. This is where human logic breaks down. This is where we start to confront the unexplainable. The story goes that a monk faced execution. He had committed a terrible sin. No escape seemed possible. To avoid his death, he made an impossible vow. He would create a book that would glorify his monastery, a book that would hold all human knowledge, and he would finish it in just one night. As midnight approached, the monk knew he would fail. He turned to the ultimate desperation. He called upon the devil. Satan answered his plea. He offered to complete the book. The price? The monk's immortal soul. With no other choice, the monk agreed. By morning, the Codex Gigas stood complete. It contained the Old and New Testaments. It held medical texts. It had historical accounts. And yes, a full-page portrait of the devil himself. The monk, so the tale says, lived out his days in torment. Guilt consumed him, but the book remained. It carried its dark legacy. Science gives us a different timeline. Handwriting analysis confirms it was one scribe, but not one night. Experts estimate it took 20 to 30 years. Imagine that dedication. Imagine the relentless discipline, day after day, year after year, for decades. This was a life given over to ink and vellum. What motivated this singular obsession? Was it penance for a deep sin, a way to earn redemption through endless labor? Or was it the pursuit of a different kind of salvation? The desire to create something eternal, a monument to human striving, or perhaps a monument to human fear. This is not merely a historical curiosity. This touches on a fundamental human question. What drives us to such extremes? What do you seek to create in your own life? What impossible tasks do you undertake? Sometimes, the most powerful creations come from the edge of human endurance. They come from the place where our will meets the unknown. If you find yourself drawn to these deeper questions, to the mysteries that shape our understanding of existence, then you might appreciate what we do here. This channel is for those who dare to look beyond the surface, for those who hunger for truths hidden in plain sight. Consider subscribing. Join us as we uncover what others fear to speak of. The face of the Netherworld. Among all the peculiarities of the Codex Gigas, one image screams for attention. It is a full-page portrait of the devil. This is not a small symbolic sketch. This is a confrontation. You turn a page, and there it is. Green eyes glow, sharp claws extend, a menacing grin twists. The body is monstrous. It is set against a stark black and red background. This figure leaps from the vellum. It seeks your direct gaze. You cannot ignore it. This is a deliberate artistic choice. For a book from a monastery, a place of piety, it is shocking. It is macabre. It forces you to reckon with evil. Medieval art usually glorified saints. It told biblical stories. It offered moral instruction. The aim was to inspire faith, to build devotion. When the devil appeared, it was often small, a cautionary reminder of sin. But here, the devil takes center stage, an entire page. No distractions, no lessening of its terror. The artist wanted to present the ultimate embodiment of corruption. They wanted you to face it head on. Art historians note the balance. It is both human and grotesque. The broad face, the claws, are monstrous, yet the body has humanoid features. This hybrid design was no accident. It symbolizes the devil's ability to tempt, to appear familiar, to be relatable, while being a force of ruin. Its placement within the manuscript is unsettling. It is on the recto's side, isolated, dominating, as if claiming its own space within a holy text. So why put it there? In a sacred book, there are several ideas. The simplest, a spiritual warning, presenting the devil in all its horror, reinforcing the consequences of sin, showing the reality of evil, even within a guide to faith. Directly opposite this portrait is another, a depiction of the heavenly city, a striking contrast. Salvation or damnation? This juxtaposition served as a powerful reminder, a visual choice for medieval readers, showing the stakes of their spiritual journey. But other interpretations exist, more esoteric possibilities. Did the devil's image serve a ritualistic purpose, a protective purpose? Medieval texts on exorcisms often included images of demons, not to celebrate evil, to bind those forces, to control them. The Codex Gigas includes exorcism texts, so the portrait might be a talisman, warding off evil, confronting it directly, within the book's very pages. Finally, some say it is a nod to the book's origin story, the legend of the monk's pact. If that tale is true, then this illustration is a grim signature, a reminder of the supposed deal. Even if the legend is an embellishment, the portrait magnifies the book's aura. It makes it unique. It makes it infamous. This image challenges us. It invites us to confront our own fears. It makes us question the motives behind its inclusion. Was it a warning? A spiritual safeguard? A piece of symbolic storytelling? Whatever its purpose, this image alone cemented the Codex Gigas' reputation. It is a manuscript cloaked in darkness and intrigue. Ink from the depths of time. The ink used to write the Codex Gigas seems simple, just dark brown. But its story is far more complex. It only deepens the book's mystery. Page after page, the script is uniform, perfect, consistent. But when scientists analyzed this ink, they found it was not ordinary. They used advanced techniques, X-ray fluorescence. They found it was made from crushed insect gall. This was common in medieval ink, but how it was used is the secret. Its consistency over such a vast manuscript is astonishing. In medieval times, ink varied: tone, texture, composition. It changed from page to page because it was made in small batches. Each batch was slightly different, yet in the Codex Gigas, the ink is uniform from beginning to end. This suggests an unusual level of technical precision, something almost unheard of for the Middle Ages. The secret could be in the preparation. Most scribes mixed ink fresh. They used it before it degraded. But the creator of the Codex Gigas may have preserved the ink's quality over time. Did the scribe have advanced chemical understanding for that era? Did they use a special ingredient, a process now lost to history? Or was something more esoteric at play, a knowledge that bordered on alchemy? Alchemy was more than turning lead into gold. It was about transformation. It sought to harness the powers of materials, blending science with mysticism. Could the scribe have drawn on alchemical understanding to achieve this consistency? Then there is the sheer volume of ink. Scholars estimate gallons were needed. Far more than one person could produce quickly. How did the scribe procure such a vast amount and keep it uniform? Over decades of work, this required meticulous planning, an advanced level of foresight. It emphasizes the unparalleled skill, the dedication involved. Some suggest supernatural influences. Could consistency be divine, a testament to the book's sacred purpose? Or does it support the darker legend, the pact with the devil, who supposedly helped the monk, completing the book in one night? These theories might sound far-fetched today, but they highlight the wonder, the unease that surrounds this book. The ink adds another layer of intrigue, a quiet yet profound reminder of technological sophistication hidden within its creation. The more we learn, the more questions arise. Was this ink the result of genius or knowledge beyond what was thought possible? Could the ink hold clues to the motivations, to the identity of the mysterious individual who dedicated their life to its creation? The Codex Gigas resists simple answers. Its ink, like the book itself, represents human ingenuity and the depths of the unknown. How much did the scribe truly know? How much is left for us to learn from a book that keeps its deepest secrets? The silenced pages. Beyond its immense size and dark images, the Codex Gigas holds another puzzle, an unsettling absence. At some point in its long history, 10 of its pages were removed, not torn out in haste, not damaged by time. They were meticulously cut out. No jagged edges, no signs of accident. This was purposeful, a deliberate removal. What could have been so important, so dangerous, on these missing pages that someone felt they had to erase them from history? 10 missing pages. That is a significant portion. In a book this large, a single page could hold immense text or intricate illustrations. Their absence deepens the mystery. They were not replaced. No records explain why or what they contained. We can only speculate. And over centuries, this mystery has spawned theories, each one more tantalizing than the last. One popular idea: forbidden knowledge. The Codex Gigas already holds texts on exorcisms, sins, penitential rites, medical writings, encyclopedic entries, an unusual blend. Could the missing pages have gone further? Information too dangerous for common readers? Apocalyptic prophecies? Instructions for summoning entities? Even alchemical formulas? For powerful elixirs? In an age where science and mysticism blurred, such knowledge could be a real threat. Another possibility: something incriminating, politically or religiously. The Codex Gigas came from a Benedictine monastery. It passed through rulers, monks, librarians. Could the missing content have implicated someone in heresy, political corruption, other crimes? In the medieval period, the church held immense power. Anything that challenged its authority could be dangerous. Censorship was common. Removing pages could protect someone or something from scrutiny. This was a deliberate act, not just erasure. It was a cover-up. Then there are theories tied to the book's infamous legend. What if the missing pages detailed the pact with the devil? Some speculate they included more illustrations or text, elaborating on this chilling origin story. Perhaps the monk's confession, an account of supernatural events. Such content, if it existed, would be explosive, especially for those seeking to discredit the church or to use the book for their own gain. Removing these pages would ensure these stories remained myth, not evidence. The absence of these pages raises questions, not just about content, about motivations. Who decided they needed to be cut out? The creator? A later owner? A powerful institution, like the church? The precision suggests careful thought. This was not casual theft or accident. It was a surgical decision to erase part of the book's history. That deliberate act, more than the missing content itself, fuels our imagination. It feeds our desire for conspiracy. The missing pages remain one of the most compelling mysteries. They are a void in a book overflowing with knowledge, a silence that speaks volumes. Their absence forces us to confront what was lost. And who decided it should never be found? Perhaps they were removed to protect humanity from knowledge it wasn't ready to handle, or to bury truths too dangerous to reveal. Whatever the case, their absence ensures the Codex Gigas keeps captivating us, not just for what it contains, but for what it withholds. What do you think was on these pages? And who had the power and the purpose to erase them? Language beyond the veil. The language of the Codex Gigas is mostly Latin. This might seem straightforward. Latin was the common tongue for scholars, for religion, for science, across medieval Europe. But look closer. Researchers found strange linguistic anomalies, patterns, irregularities, word choices. They don't quite fit traditional Latin grammar or syntax. These quirks have confused linguists for centuries, and like every part of the Devil's Bible, they raise questions bigger than their answers. The Latin prose is unusually consistent. This mirrors the uniform handwriting, but a deeper analysis shows rigid phrasing in sections, repetitive, overly simplistic, as if the writer worked under constraint. Peculiar word pairings appear, unexpected grammatical constructions, even phrases that deviate from normal medieval Latin. Are these simple errors? A lack of linguistic mastery? Or was it intentional? A hidden layer of meaning, encoded within the text. One puzzling aspect, phrases that seem out of place, even for the time. In some sections, word choices seem rushed, mechanical, as if the writer completed a passage without fully understanding its meaning. This led some to believe the scribe transcribed from an earlier source, one they didn't fully grasp, or they improvised when faced with gaps in their knowledge. On the other hand, a tantalizing possibility exists. These anomalies might not be mistakes. They could be deliberate insertions, cryptic messages, waiting for decoding. This theory gains power with the book's context. The legend of the monk's pact. It hangs heavy over the Codex Gigas. Proponents of the supernatural explanation argue linguistic irregularities could be proof of otherworldly influence. Some speculate the scribe believed they channeled angelic or demonic speech as they wrote, a phenomenon reported in mystical contexts. During the Middle Ages, others propose these quirks are ciphers, encoding messages meant only for those with spiritual insight. If so, what truths could it hold? Instructions for mystical powers, warnings against unseen dangers, or a message from the divine or the damned, meant only for the most dedicated seeker? On the scientific side, researchers argue the irregularities might come from the sheer enormity of the task. Writing such a massive manuscript, likely over decades, it would be mentally exhausting. Even a skilled scribe could make errors. After years of such grueling work, Latin was learned, not native. This could explain inconsistencies, the challenge of maintaining linguistic precision over such an undertaking. Still, natural explanations do not lessen the fascination. Cryptographers and linguists try to analyze the text using computer algorithms to find hidden patterns. So far, no definitive messages, but the effort continues, fueled by hope that the book might still reveal secrets encoded in its words. These linguistic puzzles add another layer to the Codex Gigas. Are they human error, the strain of a colossal task, or intentional messages meant to outlast centuries? They remind us the Devil's Bible is more than a book. It is a riddle, a monument to human, or perhaps other, ambition, a testament to its creator's complex mind. We are left to wonder, is the Codex Gigas trying to tell us something, or are we projecting our need for meaning onto its ancient pages? The answers may remain elusive, like the manuscript's creation itself, and therein lies its enduring allure. Perhaps you find yourself drawn to these ancient puzzles, to the symbols and languages that once held keys to realities we've forgotten. If you want to dive deeper into the hidden histories of esoteric knowledge, into the lore of entities both divine and demonic, we have a playlist dedicated to just that. You will find the link in the pinned comment below this video. It is a resource for those who are ready to see more. The Codex Gigas in the modern mind. The Codex Gigas is not just a relic, it is a symbol. It continues to inspire, to captivate the modern imagination. Nearly 8 centuries old, this enigmatic manuscript has a foothold in pop culture, films, books, television, even video games. Its size, its chilling artwork, its infamous legend. All make it perfect for stories. Stories exploring the darker corners of human curiosity. Why does this ancient tome endure? What does our fascination with it say about us? About our own minds? The Codex Gigas appears in entertainment, often shorthand for forbidden knowledge or for humanity's dealings with the devil. Remember the 1999 film, The Ninth Gate, with Johnny Depp? The plot turns on an ominous book linked to satanic rituals. While fictional, its inspiration echoes the Codex Gigas, massive, ancient, occult, filled with dark secrets, leaving destruction. These depictions tap into a universal fear, the fear of knowledge gone too far. Books holding truths meant to be hidden. Television also embraced its eerie pull. Shows like Supernatural or The Librarians. They use its lore. They portray it as a dangerous artifact to be protected or destroyed before its secrets unleash chaos. In these portrayals, the Devil's Bible is more than a symbol. It is a driving force, representing our eternal struggle between light and darkness, good and evil. These fictional glimpses amplify the real-world fear, the reverence that has surrounded this manuscript for centuries. Books, too, draw inspiration. Authors use its legend for historical thrillers, for chilling horror novels, its mysterious origins, the pact with the devil. They make it a compelling narrative device, allowing writers to explore morality, ambition, the limits of human understanding. Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code, Umberto Eco's The Name of the Rose. They evoke similar themes. Ancient knowledge, cloaked in secrecy, capable of changing or destroying the world. Even in gaming, it leaves its mark. Games of mystery, exploration, the occult, they borrow from its legend, incorporating the idea of a cursed book holding immense power. Its visual elements, the sinister illustration of the devil, they fit naturally into eerie, fantastical aesthetics. Key, this cements the Codex Gigas as a pop culture icon. But beyond fictional cameos, the Codex Gigas embodies fascination and fear in the modern imagination. Because of what it represents, it is not just an artifact, it is a symbol of the unknown, a reminder of our endless quest for answers in a world full of mysteries. The idea that a single man gave his life to such a colossal, enigmatic object, it sparks questions about human ambition, obsession, the allure of forbidden knowledge, its legend. Whether you believe in divine inspiration or devilish intervention, or astounding human determination, it touches our primal fears of what lies just beyond our understanding. What makes the Codex Gigas such a powerful cultural force? It reflects our collective desire to explore the boundaries of the known and the unknown. It reminds us, even in our modern age of science and reason, some mysteries endure, defying explanation, inviting speculation. The Codex Gigas is more than a book. It is a mirror held up to our curiosity, our fears, our enduring interest in the mysteries of the past. As long as questions remain and legends persist, the Devil's Bible will occupy a unique place in history and in the fabric of modern culture. The Codex Gigas, the Devil's Bible. It is not just an ordinary manuscript. It is a relic that transcends its pages. It stands as a bridge between the past and the mysteries we still grapple with today. We have looked at its impossible size, its meticulous creation, the chilling legends of its origin. It is clear this is much more than a book. It is a beacon for the unknown, a testament to human ambition, to wonder, and perhaps to our fear of forces we cannot fully comprehend. We began with its physical marvels, 3 feet tall, 165 pounds, made from the skins of over 160 animals. Its size alone defies logic. It shows the enormity of its creator's ambition. Yet, turning its pages, we found not just biblical wisdom, but an eclectic collection of texts, medical treatises, exorcism rituals, encyclopedic knowledge, a holistic snapshot of medieval thought. It makes you wonder what drove its author, what compelled them to devote decades of a life to its completion, or if the legends of a monk's desperate pact with the devil hold a kernel of truth. The mysteries deepen. We confronted the full-page illustration of the devil, a stark, unsettling reminder of the medieval world's preoccupation with sin and redemption. Was this image a warning, a challenge, or a reflection of its creator's own spiritual struggles? And then, the 10 missing pages, a tantalizing void. It invites endless speculation. Were these pages removed to conceal dangerous knowledge, incriminating secrets, or rituals too dark for humanity to possess? Modern science added intrigue, carbon dating, handwriting analysis. They confirmed its medieval origin and its creation by a single tireless scribe. Yet questions persist. How could one individual maintain such precision over decades? What drove them to create a book of unprecedented scale? And even with today's technology, have we truly uncovered all the Codex Gigas has to offer? Or are there still hidden codes, patterns, messages waiting to be discovered? Our fascination with the Codex Gigas is not just about words or myths. It is about what it represents. It is a window into the minds of those who lived centuries ago. Their fears, their faith, their relentless drive to make sense of the world. It shows us how knowledge and belief intertwined, how humanity, even facing uncertainty, seeks answers to life's greatest mysteries. But as much as we have uncovered, the Codex Gigas keeps part of itself in darkness. And perhaps that is its true power. It reminds us, not every question has an answer. Not every mystery is meant to be solved. What truth do you believe the Codex Gigas truly holds? Share your thoughts below. What struck you most about this incredible manuscript? Your perspective matters here. It helps us all see a bit further into the unknown.